All right. So this is probably I have like two more things coming. Probably not till the beginning of next week, and that's it. And then I'm cut off. The budget is done for the month until the mid February time frame. So let's see. What did we get? It's like I have to savor these because again, I get an allowance, and once I reach my allowance, that's it for the whole month. So I have to like be very frugal and very careful about what I choose to buy. Uh, you don't want to reach that budget too quick, otherwise you're going to be out of things to buy. And I really like to buy. I'm a shopaholic. I'm not going to lie. All right. So, what did I choose? What was one of the things? Uh, so I don't exceed my budget, and we shall soon find out. And this is a very small item, and let's hope it's in better condition than I think. I don't like getting things in crappy condition. All right, so right away you look at it and it looks like a dome light that goes on the top of a police car, but it's not. And so let's flip it. All right, you ready? So we're going to give it a good old flip. This is the back. Let's see if you can guess what this is. Now, I'll give you a hint. This is called ruby glass or cranberry glass. Focus, enhance, damn it. There we go. So that's a ruby glass. And then, here we go. I'm going to unblur it. And here we go. So we got this really cool lady on the front from the 1800s. Now, this is really great because although it's a transferware portrait, it is not hand painted. It's actually semi-hand painted, but mostly a transfer portrait. We have all these little gold gilded flecks going around it. Don't know if you could see that. And gold gilded flecks over here as well. You probably can't see it because it's translucent. And then we have this little opening, little clasp, and we're going to open it up. And I hope it doesn't go flying across the room because I'm not very good at doing these things on camera. I always screw up. How the hell do you open this? I have to like look close and use this as a magnifying glass. Oh, okay. I see now. I think I see. And wait, why isn't it open? Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, thank God I didn't break it. All right, so let's open it up. And there we go. And what the hell went in here? Honestly, I really don't know. You can guesstimate. I like saying that word. I don't even know if it's a real word, but you can guesstimate. You can guess probably trinkets, a ring, pills, cocaine. No, I'm kidding. Maybe a patch box. They sometimes call these little boxes patch boxes. Now, patch box would have been stick-on moles that ladies used to put on their faces. Yes. How old is this? We're going to find out in a moment and we can figure this out by the type of hat the lady is wearing. So let's look close up. You know she's Victorian. She's definitely got a Victorian vibe. Let's try to focus, enhance, if this camera will let me. And she's got what I believe to be called a pillbox hat. No, a flower pot hat. You see a bird, a big blue bird, looking like it's flying down into her head. She's got a big bow. Oh my God, this camera sucks. It really sucks for close-ups. Let's try this again. All right. And yeah, she's wearing typical garb of, I believe, the 1880s. And so I'm going to probably guesstimate that this box was made somewhere between the 1880s and the 1890s. So, who made it? What country of origin? These were most likely, and I'm not 100% sure, I'm not an expert, but I've collected enough of this type of glass over the years to probably believe this is Czechoslovakian, aka back then known as Bohemia, and what we know today as the Czech Republic. And there was a company that was named Moser, and Moser made the most unbelievable glass. They made a lot of glass in different colors, not only clear, but different colors. So you would get beautiful, I'm trying to think, like a celeste blue, cobalt blue, turquoise glass, amber, pink, trying to think, green, red, and again we got our cranberry here. And they were also known for their enamel work. So a lot of their glass was enameled. And so it was located and situated in an area of Czechoslovakia, And a lot of these actually was sold in cities all across Europe. So Moser would make the glass, sends it to like gift shops and tourist places all over Europe. And a lot of these were actually purchased as souvenirs when people went to, say, Austria or Germany and stuff like that. And why that? Because, believe it or not, this area, Czechoslovakia, where Moser was on the border of Austria and parts of Germany. So a lot of this glass ended up there and being sold to the tourist trade. So this I got for 20 doll hairs. I made an offer. The seller did not know what it was. When the seller does not know what these things are, you can get them for a really decent price. They made these in actually much, much bigger glass boxes. They also made vases, plates, dishes, goblets, you name it, they made it in glass. And so it was just not these little boxes that they made, but many other kinds of glass pieces. And every one of their pieces was hand blown, hand painted, and also you don't see too many portraits on Moser glass. You don't see, I've actually never seen another one of these little miniature trinket boxes with a portrait of a lady like this. I've seen like little cherubs and angels and stuff like that, or courting scenes, but I've never seen a portrait of a woman. And I don't know if this might be a famous lady of the day, not just some generic lady. There was a lot of opera stars and actresses at the time that they would actually, paint onto porcelain pieces and glass pieces. But let's try to find out more about the age, and we can tell by the clothing, the hairstyle, and the actual hat. And we're going to find out more about flower pot hats. So if you type in the word Moser glass casket, you'll see a lot of these beautiful enamel worked boxes that they made, and they weren't always tiny. Some of them looked like treasure boxes. These were glove boxes, these long rectangular ones. You see them in all different colors, and they are very expensive. So for example, let's click on this. It says Moser glass casket box. Now look at that enamel work. All hand done with a little base made out of some kind of like ormolu. We see the top. Look at that. This one being sold for 765 Great Britain pounds. These can go into the thousands of dollars. As a matter of fact, I have my mother's ashes in an antique Moser glass box. Here's this one. Wow, my mother's box is actually this color, not the same design. I know this is morbid, I'm sorry guys, but I thought my mother deserved to be buried in something like really, really, really like fancy. This one being sold for $900. I actually had one, and I really regret that I sold it. Just like this with the feet, but mine was in a beautiful amber color with all different colored enamels. I sold it for $1,800 in my Etsy shop. And the crazy part was the guy that bought it from me placed his wife, who died very young of breast cancer, in that box. I didn't know I was selling the box to him for that reason. After he received it, he sent me photos of a table all set up with all her pictures surrounding this box and said my wife's ashes are in there. And I felt like crying, and then I didn't feel so bad for selling it. Mine looked a lot like this with that beautiful amber color. And these are just so, I mean, absolutely beautiful. Look, here's another one. No two are basically alike. You get smaller little boxes. You get larger boxes. For example, look at this one. Some of them had handles on the side, locks. You can lock them up. Generally, these were sugar or jewel caskets. Let's try to see if we could see prices on some of the other ones. This one, $1,895. And you can see this one is really exquisite. This one we saw. I'm trying to, here's another one, $1,200. And as you can tell, these things are not cheap. Not cheap at all. Let's just look really fast. I'm going to hit the shopping button. And here's another one for $1,168.59. Now, mine sold, I told you, for $1,800, which was quite cool. This one, $980. We got this one, $1,500. Look at that. Wow. This one, $495. Some of them did not have that fancy base on the bottom made out of metal. This one being sold for $700. Look how tiny it is. You can see how tiny this box is by the person's hand, being sold for $700. And there's more. And I just want you to get familiar with the Moser type of glass. This one, 1,850, and that one is just exquisite. This one, a small little one without the feet. You know, you always want to find one with the metal handles on the sides and the really ornate scrolled feet that are made out of metal. This one, 180, 150, all different price ranges you can find these in. This one was a tourist piece, and so this particular one had a Grand Tour scene engraved on it. So when you went on a tour of Europe, you can find these boxes with panels with different architectural scenes from different places in Europe. This one being sold for $1,195. And as you can see, these boxes are not cheap. Here's another, $2,500. And do they get the price? Yes, they do. As you can tell, I told you I sold mine for $1,800. Here's another, wow, $2,200, $1,200 for this one without the feet. And they had some plain ones. This is a turquoise one. This one being sold for $299. They had crackle glass as well with enamel work and acid etching, $1,295. This one, $2,200. Similar to the one I sold that man that his poor wife, young wife, died from breast cancer. This one, $4,850. And it's really lovely. And we have some more, and again, more reasonably priced ones. $269. And you're probably bored off your tits right now. This one, look at this little teeny tiny one. With this person's hand next to it, you can see how tiny it is. $549.98. They even made cranberry colored ones. Here we go. A cranberry colored one for $1,450. Another one for $249. So you can see now here's a teeny tiny one like mine, $71. They all vary. It's just how different and unique the design is and the color. People go for colors. Some people only want the blue ones or the turquoise or the sapphire or the cobalt colored ones, $1,871. Some want purple. Purple's very rare. You really see it. Some want green. Some want clear ones. Some want ones with enamel work with different colors going through it, and you can see the prices are not cheap. And here's another one, more reasonably priced, in blue. You can see this gorgeous painting on it. Okay, and so next in my Cameo collection, or part of my Cameo collection, you can see how small it is, but how dainty and how pretty. It's just so gorgeous because it's so small. It's not hard to lay out and put out with all your other collectibles. So all your other collectibles, it won't like take up too much room. And let's check out that lady again. We're going to look at those flower pot hats and try to date this box and try to find out the the year that this was made. Now, what would I sell this if I had my Etsy shop still? I wouldn't sell this for less than $200 to $225 because of the portrait. You don't generally see the portraits like this on these little miniature boxes. And I'll show you the types of little miniature boxes like these and their designs. And so here's one right here, a little blue glass one. Again, being sold for $125. Generally, they'll have flowers on them. This one's $95. They're calling it a patch box. Let's see, we have a purple one here for $295. Again, purple's rare. With, a design on it, $95. Then we have $100 on this one. $199 on this one. This is a amethyst colored one. And they vary. They just vary in price depending on the amount of decoration and the color. We have, here we go, we have a tourist piece over here. And this this one actually has a mark on it, which is amazing. And this one being sold for $199. And you see it has an architectural scene on it. And this was transferware as well. And here's some other ones. They had these things called Mary Gregory style. Now, there's a lot of confusion on who came up with these Mary Gregory. Mary Gregory, I believe, was a glasswork artist that worked for the Boston Sandwich Company, glass company in America on the East Coast, but they can't say for sure. And she used to do like little children, almost cameo silhouettes on glass, but then some people say it's bohemian. So, but this is definitely unmistakably a Bohemian glass little pill trinket box. And you can see the prices. Okay, so let's see the art of dress. 1880 style, the flower pot hat. So it says during the late 19th century, hats were considered to be an essential fashion accessory for both men and women. They would not leave the house without a hat. And so here we go. Here's the different styles of hats. And this is a Edgar Degas 1882 painting. And let's go ahead, and there we go. There is the same style of hat as the lady on my pillbox. Same type of clothing, the way the hair is. And this is dated. When is this one dated? The 1880s. And there we go, 1880s. And you can see definitely this is the same era. So now we can like really date our box, but let's check out these hats. Now I'm like really intrigued to check out these type of hats. They were called flower pot hats because it looked like an upside down flower pot. They were really high up in the air, and they were loaded with bird feathers and little taxidermied birds sometimes. As a matter of fact, whole species of birds almost died out because of this sort of fad with feathers on these hats. They had to actually stop and tell women they had to stop wearing feathers on their hats because what would happen was all these birds were actually becoming extinct. And here we go, more 18. This is dated 1885, I believe. And you see the birds and their poor feathers are on these hats. And again, this is a upside down flower pot style hat, 1880s and more. We have more. And this is 1886. And it reminds me a lot of Our Lady because look at the hair. Look at the way the collar is on the dress. The hat with the feathers. Let's go ahead and show you. And there we go. Now we got a date for our box, and we know it was made sometime around this, 1885, 1886, somewhere around there. Let's check out some more. Here's an 1885 La Mode Illustrée magazine for fashion, showing you these different upside down flower pot hats. Not all of them had feathers. Some of them had bows and fabric and little like silk flowers and whatnot on them. And here we have more. And here's an actual advertisement for the selling of these hats. Very interesting. And that was 1885. And here are some examples. And again, not all of them had birds' feathers in them. And here we go. And that one is actually really wild. Look at that with the silk. It looks like silk fruit. And that is really cool. Here's some with silk flowers. No, I think this was around the time when the feathers started going out of favor because it was frowned upon. Because again, whole birds were going extinct because of this fashion. And this was 1886, by the way. All right, let's continue. And here's another one. And I think I see feathers in there. And I see like ribbons and silk. And look at that brim. That is something else. And that was 1885. And here we go. Here's a whole group of women wearing those upside down flower pot hats. And you can see that right here. Same style as Our Lady on the box. So once again, I hope you learned something. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. We learned about flower pot hats or upside down flower pot hats. We learned about Moser glass. We learned that Moser glass is very expensive. We also learned that Moser glass was from the Bohemia area. Moser glass is still in business today. Also, there's a museum in Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic that actually shows all their works and people blowing glass, giving people demonstrations of how they made their glass back in the 1800s. It's really amazing. I really got this for a steal at $20, as you can see. You don't see too many of these with these portraits on them. And cranberry glass is highly collected. So this is a dual collectible, actually. It's actually a triple collectible. One in portraits. People look for anything with Victorian lady portraits on it, whether it's on porcelain or glass. Second, people collect just cranberry colored glass. And third, there's people that collect Moser glass. So this is a triple collectible. And a triple collectible always gets, like, opens up, if you're looking to resell, it actually gets more interest and more buyers quickly. Thanks for watching. See you guys all soon, and so long.